Hey everybody, Mo Friggin back again. You can see I'm in the call room, but I did want to talk about a tool that I have with me in the ER, but I actually carry it with me all the time. And so it's not necessarily something I use exclusively for the ER like my other video. But this one is a tool I think is relevant right now because it's, as I'm filming this, today is October 14th, the day that the new Leatherman Wave Alpha comes out. And also I saw a video posted today from Maxlvledc talking about this tool, which is the Leatherman Sidekick, which has a sale on Costco. And the Sidekick happens to be my tool of choice, and why I would get this one again. So let's get into it. We're talking about my preferred Leatherman that I keep on me every day, but also I use for a specific reason here in the emergency department, the Leatherman Sidekick. I was turned on to this tool by a YouTuber, Kayaka Tools, who modified a Wingman. He had a Wingman. The scissors aren't great. He ended up taking apart his and putting on some Victorinox scissors. This one, you don't get the scissors, you get a saw. And this is the one that's on sale at Costco right now. I'll have that link below. I'll also have the link to that Kayaka Tools video where he modifies his, and you can see where I got my inspiration on mine. I took his apart, acid etched the tools, and then polished the scales. Where I took mine apart, acid etched the tools, and then Cerakoted the scale so that I have a nice black tool that I can keep because I gotta have everything be black. You know me, black. All right, so what you get is a set of Leatherman pliers. They have non-replaceable wire cutters, which come together well on mine. Some have an issue that they don't come together very well and will have a hard time cutting, but mine come together just fine without much pressure on them, so they'll do just fine. And I got these on eBay, and they've been fine. It does have these spring-loaded pliers, which is plus or minus, but actually I don't mind it. I think it's just fine. A little out of alignment, but who knows, because I took these apart and kind of have them one side back a little looser than the other side, just so I could access the tools a little easier. So on this side, you have a little thumb hole that you can, mine's very stiff after acid etching it, but you can pull out the blade. 420 HC, nothing to write home about, but just the typical blade steel that all Leatherman tools come in, and it's just a straight blade. No serrations on the Sidekick. And then on the other side, outside access tool that you could access one-handed if you're slicker than me and weren't holding a microphone. But look, I did it. You get a saw. Fairly aggressive saw. I've been using that saw for plastic and for something else I'm going to show you here, a tool I use here in the emergency department, and it works pretty good. It works better than any other tool in the ER at least. On the inside tools, on one side, you get a small serrated blade. You get a file that has a depth gauge on the back in centimeters and in inches. And you get a can opener bottle lifter with a little wire stripping notch. And then you can also see here it has a small loop for a lanyard. It comes on that side, comes with a great pocket clip. That's probably Leatherman's best pocket clip, for at least my use, that's the best Leatherman pocket clip. I'll show you that in a second. And on the other side, you have two inside tools, which are a 2D Phillips and a flathead. And I'll tell you what, my strong preference is a Phillips screwdriver over a bit driver, especially over the Leatherman bit driver. I just feel like unless you're going to carry around all the bits and use them on a regular basis for an EDC, just having a 2D Phillips is all I ever need, and it's been fantastic. Great tool for me. All right, let me show you on my belt why I love this so much. Because the way I've determined I like to carry this is on the inside of my belt with the clip over my nylon belt. Let me show you. Just right like that. Lays fairly flush right there. And I can lift it right off my nylon belt. And to get it back on, I can slide it back on one-handed. I do lift up with my finger just to get that clip over the nylon belt. How thick is my nylon belt? This is an 1.5-inch nylon belt. It fits just fine. Might be hard to see how perfectly flush that sits on my belt, but let me turn it to the side a bit. And you can see that it lays perfectly flat in my nylon belt. There you go. That's why I carry this one. It fits perfect on my belt and lays flush, doesn't scratch anything. I had a Cerakoted that I would carry around, and the pocket clip is longer and it's not as much clearance underneath it, so it would get pulled off a lot easier by my seatbelt, or it would scratch things, and I just got sick of that, and so I got rid of the Cerakoted, and I just am afraid with the Wave that if I would get a clip, that the way the clip snaps on to the pivot, that it would just come off my belt. It wouldn't be secure enough. Whereas this one is screwed into the pivot. This is the one for me. And this is the one that's on sale right now at Costco. I'll have that link below. There is a specific procedure that I use this for in the emergency department a few times a year. So fairly often. And there's really nothing else in the emergency department that can help me get that procedure done. And I don't use this for the procedure, but I use this to prep for the procedure. It's when you get an abscess. But it's when a patient gets an abscess in their tonsil. And the best way to treat an abscess is to get the pus out of it, right? And sometimes we'll start with the tonsillar abscess with just draining it with a needle. What I'll do is I'll get an 18-gauge needle, and I'll build a little guard by using the cap over the needle. Will stop me from pushing the needle too far back into their tonsil. The fear is that you go too deep and you hit the carotid. I mean, it's a few centimeters back there. So if I make my guard 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters, 1.5 centimeters, 2 centimeters, chance of me getting back in that carotid is fairly small. Fairly common procedure done. So it's not like I'm inventing the wheel. I mean, somebody showed me how to make this thing, but nobody, they get scissors, like tools you have in the emergency department, you just get scissors and try to cut the cap and it just shatters and makes a horrible mess. Or you try to cut it with your knife and it's just the plastic is hard, it won't cut, or the serrated blade doesn't cut it. But the saw on your Sidekick, the one that doesn't come on the Wingman, that is the perfect tool to cut that. And then it has a little file that's perfect for filing it down and making it all smooth and nice. And it's really the perfect tool to make that. The needle stopper, the needle guide. So yeah, you'll see on the tabletop here, first thing I do is measure out 2 centimeters from the needle tip. I'll score it right there. Then I'll get out my saw and I'll saw it off. And then file it down. Get it nice and smooth. And if you're gonna take the cap, so now your needle isn't protected anymore, I would get another needle protector. So you need 2 needles to do this, and then take that cover off of it and put it on the needle until you're ready to do the procedure. Then you'll stick this on the end of a 20-gauge syringe, numb up their mouth nice with some lidocaine, and then I stick a intubation blade to hold down their tongue and give me some light. And then I stick my needle down in there and try to get at that tonsil and drain that bad boy out. Put them on some antibiotics and I have them see the ENT. But that's what I use my Leatherman Sidekick for in the emergency department. Thanks everybody for coming out. I appreciate you watching these videos and liking and subscribing and commenting below. What do you use your Leatherman Sidekick for? Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Put it in both? Put it in both. I guess.